Lesson 6. My name is Darren Mathis. This week I received an email from Jeff Escalante in Needham, Massachusetts. He writes, I'm not sure what the method is called, but there's a method where you can do double time on the hi-hat using a double stroke, used often in reggae, and I'm sure you already know, in any of Chad Sexton's beats for 311. He says that he heard me mention it on a recent podcast, and he's a huge fan of theirs. He says, I hope you know what I mean when I say this. I usually refer to it as the double hi-hat hit method, although I'm sure there's some better name. Could you go over how to do it? I have seen many drummers utilizing it, and I have seen it done in two different ways. On top of the hi-hat with double stroke, and on the side of the hi-hat, which I usually use, although it does ruin your sticks more. I think it sounds much better. Anyway, he says, he's talking about that technique being used by Carter Buford of the Dave Matthews Band too, where he does some hi-hat work. So Jeff, thanks for your email, and I think I know what you're talking about when you're talking about the double hi-hat hit method, using a double stroke on the hi-hat as a basis of a beat where you might play 16th notes on the hi-hat like this. That's 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Those are 16th notes played on the hi-hat. And so what Buford, or Carter Buford, will do, and also Chad Sexton, as you mentioned, will do often, is play one of those 16th notes as a double stroke, or a couple of them next to each other as double strokes, putting in rolls and drags in their beats. So lots of times if you just play a double stroke on a 16th note, it can be called a drag, because it kind of has this drag type feel, like that. So a way to practice this is to just play your beat on this with 16th notes on the hi-hat, kick drum on 1 and 3, the snare drum on 2 and 4, which sounds like this. And now we're going to add in some double strokes on that hi-hat. Like for instance, if I was playing a double stroke on the, let's play a double stroke on the and of 4. So on the 4 count, if you count it in 16th notes, 4 E and a, I'm going to play 4 E and a. So on the and, I'm going to play a double stroke. And a. So if I play a whole measure of 16th notes, it sounds like this: 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So on the and, I'm going to play a double stroke like this. So it sounds like this: 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E. So that would sound like this. So I'm just double stroking on the and of 4, 4 E and a, 4 E and a. You notice I'm playing on the top of the hi-hat here, where you get more definition. Otherwise, if you play on the side, it's going to sound a little more sloshy. You're going to get more of the cymbals moving together, that kind of sound. And it's also harder to get your stick to bounce if you're playing on the edge here. I think it's harder to get it bounce than if you play on the top like this. It's easier to get that stick to bounce. So what you can do is incorporate that double stroke. Try different notes within that 16th note beat to double stroke, and you might double stroke 2 16th notes that are right next to each other, which creates a 5-stroke roll. I'll slow that down. I'll count it first: 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1. So instead of just playing the double stroke on the and, I'm going to play the double stroke on the 4 E and a, 1. 4 E and a, 1. So I'll play that again. and extend it out. Maybe go to a 7 or 9 stroke roll or longer. Again, as I've mentioned before, the key to getting that nice double stroke sound is to get the second stroke of the double stroke to sound exactly like the first stroke, so that both strokes sound the same. So you shouldn't be able to tell the difference between playing a double stroke roll and a single stroke roll, because all the notes should sound even.
You've been watching Unirunner Video Drum Lessons. You can reach Unirunner on the web at www.unirunner.com. You can leave comments at the website, or you can email me at info@unirunner.com. I invite you to take the PodTrack survey that's found on the homepage at unirunner.com. If you do have the time to take the survey, just email me what appears after the last question of the survey at info@unirunner.com. And I'll enter you into a contest to win a DVD set from Steve Smith, a DVD set from John Blackwell, 4 pairs of drumsticks, and the book Diversified Drumming from Hamar Percussion Publications. And I'll randomly draw the name of a winner for those items at the end of December. If you have a drum set or drum-related item that you're trying to sell, or if you have an eBay auction or another online auction, visit unirunner.com/gear. I'll be happy to show your item on the podcast. Thousands of viewers will see it. So if you could shoot some video of your drum set with your still camera or digital video camera and send that to me, that would be great. I've had a couple of viewers interested in buying used sets, so that might help them out. Just visit unirunner.com/gear, and there are some instructions there on how to do that. I want to thank Kendra Calhoun, who helped make this podcast possible with her donation to Unirunner Video Drum Lessons this week. If you enjoyed the podcast and would like to support it, you can do so by visiting unirunner.com/donations. Once again, I thank you for watching, and until next week, keep practicing, and God bless.